underdog. Go to mesrianilaw.com today for your free consultation.
You're not alone in this fight. Mesriani Law Group is here to help. Let us protect you.
Now at noon, a street vendor swept up in chaotic immigration raids at the Hollywood Home Depot. Now family members are concerned that she is not getting crucial medical care while she is in. Thanks for joining us for the KTLA 5 News at noon. I'm Glenn Walker.
And I'm Lou Parker. Family members are speaking out today about their concerns for that street vendor's health and also safety.
KTLA 5's Corinne Winter live now in Hollywood with more on the woman still in custody this afternoon. Corinne?
Lou and Glenn, yes, that's really one of the family's biggest concerns, that their loved one, who is a street vendor along this corner here in Hollywood, they fear that she may not be getting the proper medical care. They say she has a lot of health issues. Take a look at this photo. This is Emma De Paz. They tell us that she's been in this country for decades. She and her family immigrated here to the U.S. from Guatemala. She's one of several vendors, street vendors, working here in Hollywood by the Home Depot that agents detained in a raid last week. Her brother was here when it happened, and he told us at the time that she was always fearful of getting detained, that she knew this was a risk coming out here each day with President Trump's immigration enforcement crackdown happening all across the U.S., but said that selling food was her only means of making money. De Paz has been in detention since last Thursday. Her family says since then she was hospitalized with health issues, and that they've spoken with De Paz, who told them the conditions inside that detention facility are deplorable. Federal agents say anyone in this country illegally faces deportation, even those without criminal records, saying that these raids are part of broader efforts to uphold U.S. immigration laws. Here's more from De Paz's brother.
My sister called us and saying that they treated them really bad in there. There is a cold room, there is no food. They give them just a little pack of cookies every day and one Capri-Sun juice, that's it. And there is not a blanket, there is very cold room, and she not even shower since she got there.
Now, as for the Guatemalan consulate, De Paz's family says that they have no idea how much assistance, if any, they can provide in this matter. They say this is a last resort. They're fighting until the bitter end, they say, just to stop her possible deportation. That's the very latest here in Hollywood. Corinne Winter, KTLA 5 News.
All right, thank you, Corinne. Legal actions are being brought against the LAPD, the LA Sheriff's Department, and the state of California.
Plaintiffs claim that they were unlawfully shot by rubber bullets during recent protests against ICE. KTLA 5's Omar Lewis is in Pasadena with more. Hi, Omar.
Lou, Glenn, good afternoon to you both. Civil rights attorneys here in Pasadena laid out those claims in these 3 new lawsuits against the LAPD and the LA County Sheriff's Department during a news conference here this morning. And it includes allegations from a journalist who says they were shot twice with rubber bullets from law enforcement, and allegations from a protester who says they were shot in the face by a rubber bullet. All 3 alleged victims are now seeking $5 million each in damages caused by their injuries. We can take you to the video and tell you that these lawsuits, they stem from a series of recent anti-ICE protests in early June when demonstrators filled the streets in response to new ICE enforcement operations. Journalist Ben Camacho says he was covering a protest on June 7th in Paramount when LA County deputies shot him in the knee, then again in the elbow as he was helping another injured reporter. Camacho says he was visibly wearing press credentials when he was hit by rubber bullets. A day later, protester Aaron Bounds says they were standing on a bridge above the 101 freeway when an LAPD officer below shot them in the face. And Jack Kearns, who says he was leaving a protest on June 14th, claims an LAPD officer shot him in the back of the head. Each of these alleged victims, again, now seeking at least $5 million in damages from the city of LA, LA County, and the state of California for what their attorneys call excessive and unconstitutional use of force.
I attempted to disperse. I asked several cops on the line where we were supposed to go. Each cop either outright ignored me or told me to stay put, giving me no instructions. Faced with no other choice, I split between two cops on the line, running down the street in an effort to disperse. I made it about 30 yards before feeling a sharp pain in the back of my head.
2 of our clients were shot in the head. That is explicitly prohibited by the Central District of California, by California law, and by these departments' own policies. These officers and deputies are supposedly trained to aim at the navel stomach area or at the legs and arms.
It's not that LASD accidentally shot me twice. It's that they are vehemently opposed to our First Amendment rights.
LAPD Chief Jim McDonnell previously defended his officers' actions during these protests, noting that more than 50 were injured, struck by bottles, bricks, fireworks, and other projectiles. He also said some videos circulating online don't show the full chaotic context that officers were facing. Still, both the LAPD and the LA County Sheriff's Department say they are reviewing each use of force incident and will discipline any officer who failed to follow policy. Back out here live, these civil rights attorneys here in Pasadena say more lawsuits will be filed from other clients that they're projecting will be filing these lawsuits in the near future. They say if these police policies don't change, then taxpayers will be left footing the bills from these lawsuits. That's the latest for now. Here live from Pasadena this afternoon, I'm Omar Lewis. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, thank you, Omar. The vice mayor of Cudahy is facing backlash over a video in which she called on local gangs to defend their territory from ongoing immigration raids across L.A.
Not for nothing, but I want to know where all the cholos are at in Los Angeles. 18th Street, Florencia. Where's the leadership at? Because you guys are all about territory, and this is 18th Street, and this is Florencia. You guys tag everything up, claiming hood. And now that your hood's being invaded by the biggest gang there is, there ain't a peep out of you.
Cynthia Gonzalez posted that video last week. It has since been taken down. The city of Cudahy says that Gonzalez's comments do not reflect the views of the city, and her remarks have been criticized by the Department of Homeland Security and LA's main police union. In a statement, the LA Police Protective League called for the vice mayor's resignation and possible prosecution, saying in part, quote, what Ms. Gonzalez urged and taunted these specific gangs to do in her social media post puts police officers and other law enforcement professionals at greater risk. Her actions are deplorable and potentially illegal, end quote. Well, President Trump has departed a NATO summit in the Netherlands as a ceasefire between Israel and Iran enters a second day.
Before leaving, the president addressed reports about the severity of a strike on Iran. KTLA 5's Lauren Lister is live in the newsroom with the very latest details. Hi, Lauren.
Hi, Lou. Hi, Glenn. New reaction for you at this hour. We are hearing from the president following leaks of an early analysis of the U.S. bombing of 3 Iran nuclear facilities that suggested Iran's nuclear program had been set back months, not years, and was not completely destroyed. Well, President Trump at the NATO summit rejecting that.
It's been obliterated, totally obliterated. And they did a report, but it was like, if you look at the dates, it's just a few days after it happened. Sir. So they didn't see it. They said it may be very severe.
A preliminary analysis of Saturday's strikes coming from the Defense Intelligence Agency and U.S. Central Command has prompted the questions about just how extensive the damage was to Iran's nuclear sites after the U.S. hit them with 30,000-pound bunker-busting bombs dropped by B-2 bombers in the middle of the night. Well, people familiar with the preliminary report telling multiple news outlets it suggests the strikes did more limited damage. The president pushing back, saying the intelligence report was not finished, and they've collected additional intel indicating obliteration. A spokesperson for Iran's foreign ministry reporting bad damage in this TV interview.
Yes, our nuclear installations have been badly damaged, that's for sure, because it has come under repeated attacks by Israeli and American aggressors.
That interview was on Al Jazeera. Now, here is a look at the satellite images for what can be seen from above ground when it comes to the before and after of these nuclear sites. But keep in mind, the U.S. was targeting underground portions of the facilities. At Fordo, for example, it's buried deep within a mountain. Meantime, a ceasefire announced by President Trump this week between Israel and Iran after 12 days of fighting appears to be holding for a second day. And from one battlefield to another, the president was asked at NATO why he hasn't been able to broker an end to the war between Ukraine and Russia.
It's more difficult than people would have any idea. Vladimir Putin has been more difficult. Frankly, I had some problems with Zelensky. You may have read about him. And it's been more difficult than other wars.
Nevertheless, President Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky meeting one-on-one behind closed doors on the sidelines of the NATO summit. Mr. Trump saying the two leaders did not discuss details of a ceasefire in the Russia-Ukraine war, but stressed a shared desire to end the war swiftly. He also said Zelensky couldn't have been nicer. Also saying he would call Vladimir Putin to try to facilitate an end to the war. Russia has so far refused U.S. proposals for a 30-day ceasefire. President Trump also telling reporters there that the U.S. will meet with Iran next week about a potential nuclear agreement. The president now en route back to the U.S. That's the latest live in the newsroom. Lou, back to you.
Lauren, thank you. Well, today, L.A. city and county officials are delivering their annual message to be safe this 4th of July and steer clear of illegal fireworks.
When fireworks are in the wrong hands, the consequences can be deadly.